Hello, I will present my oral answers to the questions about Steve McQueen's small axe. First off, the Smith family. Agnes and Esmond's jobs. Agnes works a lot. She works for her children's sake. She keeps telling Kingsley that he needs to do better, that she does not work so many hours for him to keep getting sent to the principal's office at school. She expects him to give her something back. Agnes is a nurse. We see this early in the movie after she has talked to the principal about Kingsley moving to a special needs school. Esmond the father does not say much and is kind of angry all the time. After he learns that Kingsley cannot read, he tells Agnes that Kingsley should learn a trade, some work he can do with his hands, like Esmond does himself. Esmond is a carpenter. Ethnicity. The Smith family's ethnicity is African, British slash West Indian, or you could call the ethnicity for black, which is an extremely big taboo nowadays, but back then in the 1970s it wasn't. Values. One of the Smith family's largest values is their religion. The kids pray every night, and the family does not swear in the house, at least not when the parents are home. It is easy to see that this family practices their religion. Housing. The Smith family's house is what you would expect, I would say. It is a small two-floor terraced house with the entrance, dining room, and kitchen connected in a small space. The second floor is where the rooms are. There's enough room for them to live there, and it does not look like the housing is a problem. Views on education. In the Smith family, the views on education are kind of split. The father wants the children to follow in his footsteps and do handcrafting. The mother, Agnes, thinks that education is extremely important for them to grow up and become successful in their environment with the cultural background that they have. What are your observations about work in the family and their housing? My observations are that they could have a better housing considering that the mom works as a nurse and the dad as a carpenter. But that probably has something to do with their skin color. Maybe they do not get paid as much as a white skin colored nurses or carpenters do. Kingsley. Characterize Kingsley. His dreams. Kingsley's biggest dream is to become an astronaut. What does the opening sequence and the resolution tell us about Kingsley? It tells us that he enjoys astronomic stuff, he's into that sort. And it also tells us that he is one of the only black people in his class. What is the reason for his being unmanageable? The way society treats him, the way school treats him. His friends say mean racist stuff to him. I would behave unmanageable as well if I were treated like black people in the 70s. Even the teachers say he comes from the jungle. It must be so tiring. Kingsley and the Durrant School. Why is Kingsley sent to a school for children with special needs? Kingsley is sent to the school for special needs because he cannot read at all. The school is a severe indictment of schools for kids with special needs in the UK in the 1970s. How would you not just love for me to play The House of the Rising Sun for you in class by the Animals? Yes, exactly. As you explain in this question, the children do not learn anything at all. Sometimes the teachers don't even show up in the class, and when they do, they just sit there and play songs on their guitar. I mean, what is the point? What examples of explicit and implicit racism occur? There's a very explicit racism when Kingsley's friend says, "A black man can't go to space." This is explicit because he says it straightforward, that a black man like Kingsley cannot go to space, which is Kingsley's dream. A more sudden racism is when the special needs teacher says, "Do anything you want, go swing from the trees like you're back home in the jungle for all I care." I'm not sure where to put this one on the scale from explicit to implicit, but at least she doesn't say it straightforward and tell him that he's black. But it is definitely racist. D. The point of no return. Hazel Lewis and Lydia Thomas present Arne Smith with Bernard Coates how the West Indian child is made educationally subnormal. What conflict does the pamphlet cause? In Arne's, she is not sure if she wants to know the truth. She thinks that the new school is all fine because Kingsley does not speak poorly about the school. A conflict is also that obstacles keep on appearing for Agnes. Agnes seems very stressed about it. She's also worried for her son, of course. Between Esmond and Agnes. Agnes goes to tell Esmond that the special needs school is horrible for Kingsley, but Esmond does not really respond or want anything to do with it. He just tells Agnes to shut up. What are your observations from the meeting for the West Indian community? One big observation is that a lot of the West Indian community has experienced the same mistreatment by the government and from the schools that teach their children. What is the main educational approach in Nina Edmonds' Sunday school? The educational approach is to teach the kids to be better in school so they can get better grades at their real school. Nina Edmond teaches them math with something like food. She explains things in an easier way for the kids to understand. How is Kingsley treated? Kingsley is now treated with respect. The teacher listens to him and tells him when he has done a good job. 3. He learns to read. Please give a psychological reason. Now that Kingsley is treated with respect and is not judged or looked down on, he can read better, he doesn't feel the same amount of pressure as he did before, and Kingsley's family is so proud of him. Thank you, that was all I had.